talk about school intake. Our child is 4 now, and he'll be starting school September 2023. I don't understand why you guys are always far. Can you come a little bit closer, like this one? Because you guys are literally my mirror, so I need you a bit closer like this, and then we can start this vlogging. It is good. This is good. So we're gonna take action and start. So our son is 4, and I said the rest, so we're just gonna jump into it. So we had to apply for him to start school this year. We applied last year, October 2022, and our deadline was the 15th of January 2023. This is for reception intake, primary school, obviously, in England. And I don't know how the system of school works. I know the nursery intake, but not the school. So it's a learning process for me. And I'm just talking to you in regards to, do you know what I look like? I look like, you see, Suicide Squad, the clown. No, that's not the clown, that's how. Anyway, so yeah, yeah, the system, I don't know how the primary school system works. So again, it's a learning process for me, and I'm still learning. So our deadline was the 15th of January, as I said. However, before we had applied, we had a choice of 6 schools that we are entitled to apply for. The more you apply, the better chances you have in getting accepted in the school. So knowing me, I did all 6. I applied for all 6 schools. But before applying, what I did was that I called the schools that I was interested in, and I went to view it just to make sure the atmosphere is good and I can ask as much questions as possible to get an insight. And this is when you can find out if they're lying or they're telling the truth. So I went for the viewing, and I took our son with me so that he can get a feel of how school life will be. And obviously he was showing interest. You know, children show interest, especially if they see toys. So we went to the school viewings, and he played and spoke with the other children. I spoke to the teachers, asked them a few questions, i.e. what extra curriculum you have in place, and etc. How often do you go to trips, and what is your policy in safeguarding, child protection, parent partnership, and all the shebang. So I asked them the questions, and I got my answer. But prior to me booking the visits, I checked the Ofsted report first, just to make sure whatever they'll be saying, for example, reflects on the Ofsted report. So any staff turnover, I asked, and I asked why this was an issue and what practice or what policy they have in place to meet this in theory per se. Anyway, reviewed the schools, asked my questions, looked at the location just to make sure it's within the walking distance, because obviously I would want my son to start walking to school at a certain age by himself. Obviously me standing right at the back and watching him like this. So we finished, we checked the location, we checked the Ofsted, we spoke with the teachers, and obviously we applied. Where are you? I cannot find you. Yeah. So we applied to the school. October, as I mentioned. Deadline 15th of January. I didn't like my preference, so luckily time was with me. I mean time as in T-I-M-E, time, literally time. I had 1 day before the February deadline had occurred, because the January deadline has stopped, and I wasn't aware that you also have February deadline. I was not even aware. So I called the local authority and asked them to change my preferences, so bring number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3, so just change it about. So did that, done. Then on the 17th of April 2023, it's a national offer day for everyone. We received a reply that your child, got an offer to a certain school. And then you have to reply, accept or decline. I obviously accepted. Then, knowing me, changing my mind as always, I've changed my mind. Like, at the end of, not the end, like the 4th week, or basically by the end of the month, I changed my mind. And I was like, no, I don't want this school for my son anymore. Although it was my first preference. So speaking to the school, they said, okay, would you like us, this is the school that I want my child to go into now. The school said to me, would you like us to put your child on a waiting list? And I said yes. I asked the school, how long is the waiting list? They said 4 children are on the waiting list. I was like, yes. So my child was the 4th person on the waiting list. I also called the local authorities and told them that I want my child to be placed on the waiting list for this specific school. So they did that too. They put my child on the waiting list, and they said to me, in May you'll find out if the waiting list, accept your child, meaning that your child got the school or your child is still on the waiting list. So knowing me, I can't wait. I called the school up in May and asked them, how is the waiting list now, and what place is my child in, and how soon is the list gonna go up. My child got a space in the school, so I was so happy and I was so thrilled. But the school obviously told me you just don't need to wait for the local authority to send you that email confirmation to confirm to you that your child got offered to this school, and also for you to apply like you did in April, accept or decline. I accepted, and then I spoke to the school and asked them, what is the settling in period, because I know in a nursery we have a settling in period. So what is the settling in period for a primary school? So the school told me that basically the first week of September, the normal children go back in, like the year 1s, year 2s, year 3s, and etc. But reception will come in the 2nd week of September, so that they don't feel like it's too much for them. So they'll have a day where we come in with the children and settle in with them for a couple of hours, so that the child can get used to the environment, and also we can communicate and network with the other parents, which is always important to have that community. You never know. So where are you? Show yourself. So I was quite happy with that, and they said to us due in time they'll send us those methods and what we need to do. Prior to that, viewing the school as well, obviously I had to fill in an application form there as well. That was for something totally different, but it was within the school. It was something to do with the school. And one second. So where was I? Yeah, we'll have to wait for them to get back to us in regards to the settling in. I just need to set this. so you can bake. Okay, you bake. Yeah, so at the moment I'm feeling a little bit anxious that our little one was just a baby not too long ago, and now he's going to school. I know in a nursery I feel like they're very caring, very nurturing, very baby-like, and I know in the school it's different. It's more like academically, and it's more like you have to do what I tell you to do, and it's like it's for their own future. So I understand that absolutely, but I just feel very nervous. Is he gonna be okay? Is he gonna settle in? Is he gonna be loved? Is he gonna be, are they gonna understand him? Are they gonna speak his language? When I say language, I don't mean lingala, I just mean like, are they gonna understand what he's saying, you know? So that's, I'm a bit anxious, but overall I'm actually very, very happy as well, because his aunt will be working with him, so I won't have anything to worry about, because she'll be watching everything and, you know, working alongside him. So I just pray and hope he does well in school. He settles in very good and makes lots of friends. And listens to his teachers when they tell him what to do. Because he's like me, like, if you tell him what to do, he'll ask you why. You need to explain why you want him to do what you want him to do. Which is good, because that shows that he's interested in understanding the concept of why should you do that. Not just because you're an adult, you're telling him what to do, but you need to explain yourself. Sit down. Why do you want him to sit down? It's part of school policy. It's part of you learning. It's a rule that you have to follow as a big boy. So I'm quite happy with that, and I hope he goes to school and understanding that not everyone has this opportunity to go to school in certain parts of the world. This is a blessing, and he needs to grab it with both hands. And I know he'll do well. Well, I want to know, what are your thoughts if you have children at schools? How did you feel first time leaving your child at school? And how did you deal with it, knowing that you're leaving your little one and etc.? You know, like, what was your feelings? Because I always feel anxious when it comes to transition, especially when it involves my child. So I honestly hope. With this one, I actually, hold on. Yeah. How was your experience? How did you manage it? I still feel like a clown like this now. So, yeah, so that's my story when it comes to school intake and how to apply early, the better. And also the lucky thing with us is that we met all the criteria of the school. If you have a child, which they call siblings under the criteria, if you have a siblings in the same school, your chances are high. If your child belongs in a religion, that's your chances are high, because most schools in England are most schools in England is Church of England. So location also plays a part in the application. So if you're very far and out of the reach, your chances will be low. So always look out for that. So again, good luck to all the parents out there, and I hope all our children that are starting in September enjoy their transition.